In this video, we're going to look at how to work with part preparations on our weldments before we actually begin the welding procedure. Here with the part preparations IAM from our working files directory, I have multiple parts already assembled in a weldment awaiting the proper preparations, welding, and machining to take place on this design. Now, the definition of a preparation on a weldment is essentially something you do just before the welding process takes place. So here I have on the left-hand side of my screen the preparations, welds, and machining stages of the weldment design. If you double-click on preparations, or if you choose preparation from your process panel at the top of the screen, you'll be launched into the preparation sub-environment. Inside of this environment, you can see some very commonly recognizable commands, such as two-dimensional sketch, extrusion, revolve, hole, fillet, chamfer, and sweep. These commands will only remove material. They will never add material to your design. Furthermore, the reduction of the material only occurs at the level of the assembly. If you add a chamfer, or if you cut an extrusion or a hole addition to this particular design, at this level, it only stays here. If you were to open up the individual part files, you would not see those preparations on that design. And the reason for that is these preparations might be unique to this particular design, but you don't want to take away from the repetitive nature of a subcomponent such as a piston or a rod or a plate that might be utilized elsewhere, but has unique characteristics to this weldment. So I'm going to begin my preparations by adding a few chamfers onto this design. I'll rotate the model to the back side here. And where this pin and this plate come in contact, this is the weld exercise base, and this is the lower sleeve and the upper sleeve. I'm going to add this chamfer. Now, depending on where you select, you'll get a preview, although it's not as nice of a preview as you get in the modeling environment. As you can tell, this chamfer is currently trying to add a reduction chamfer to the lower sleeve and not the base part, which is what I want. So I'm going to hold down Shift and deselect that. And in order to get the correct edge, I will use my selection filter to toggle through to find edge number 2. There you can see a more appropriate preview of that chamfer. Now, since this chamfer will be the same size on the other sleeve for this base plate, I'll go ahead and pan over here and also select the other edge. Make sure you use your selection filter to select the appropriate one. I will apply this chamfer to see that take place. I also want a chamfer on the bottom of this guard plate on the back side. So I'll choose that edge. And that chamfer looks a little bit large for this particular preparation, so I'm going to reduce that to 1 millimeter. I'll choose OK, and there's my last preparation. Now, just to recap about where the preparations reside, I'm going to expand the plus sign on my model browser on the left-hand side of the screen, and here we will see 2 chamfers created here at this level. To get back up to the traditional assembly environment, the main environment of this file, I'll simply right-click and choose Finish Edit. If I select the base component here, right-click and choose Open, this will open that file explicitly, and you will notice there is not a chamfer on those inner rings. They only exist at the assembly level. I'll go back over to part preparations, and this design is now ready to start the welding procedure.